During these 2 years, I was led to think much about religion. Whilst on board the Beagle, I was quite orthodox, and I remember being heartily laughed at by several of the officers, though themselves orthodox, for quoting the Bible as an unanswerable authority on some point of morality. I wrote that while standing in the midst of the grandeur of a Brazilian forest, it is not possible to give an adequate idea of the higher feelings of wonder, admiration, and devotion which fill and elevate the mind. I well remember my conviction that there is more in man than the mere breath of his body. Savages consider the thunder and lightning the direct will of God. Those savages who thus argue make the same mistake, as does that philosopher who says the innate knowledge of Creator has been implanted in us by a separate act of God. We finally left the shores of Brazil. I thank God I shall never again visit a slave country. I heard the most pitiable moans. And these deeds are done and palliated by men who profess to love their neighbors as themselves, who believe in God and pray that His will be done on earth. I have stated that in the 13 species of ground finches, a nearly perfect gradation may be traced, from a beak extraordinarily thick to one so fine. And thus, the forms of life throughout the universe become divided into groups, subordinate to groups. I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have designedly created the Ichneumonidae wasp with the express intention of their feeding within the bodies of caterpillars, or that a cat should play with mice. The most usual argument for the existence of an intelligent God is drawn from the deep inward conviction and feelings which are experienced by most persons. But it cannot be doubted that Hindus, Mohammedans, and others might argue in the same manner and with equal force in favor of the existence of one God, or of many gods, or as with the Buddhists, of no God. I can hardly see how anyone ought to wish Christianity to be true. For if so, the plain language of the text seems to show that the men who do not believe, and this would include my father, brother, and almost all my best friends, will be everlastingly punished. And this is a damnable doctrine. The mind still craves to know whence it came from and how it arose. The safest conclusion seems to me to be that the whole subject is beyond the scope of man's intellect. But man can do his duty. What my own views may be is a question of no consequence to anyone but myself. My judgment often fluctuates. In my most extreme fluctuations, I have never been an atheist in the sense of denying the existence of a God. I think that generally, and as I grow older, but not always, that an agnostic would be the more correct description of my state of mind.